Hey folks, welcome back to another Paul Massive video, and today we're gonna check out Anni and Reshiram and the kid and all that stuff, right? So, Anni and Reshiram Anniversary. Anni and Reshiram is a tech fire type unit, which, by the way, honestly, tech is my favorite role now. Like, tech units have been they've been blasting out really interesting units, right? Lear, obviously, the most recent one, Marnie. Summer Marnie as well. Then you got, this, this end was also really interesting as well. So, yeah, a lot of really nice units. So, yeah, let's just quickly go over what he does. So basically, he has an AOE attack over here that doesn't get, AOE nerfed by the AOE nerf thing, because he has this extend range that makes it so that it hits everyone on the opponent's team, even though it's single target, but does maximum amounts of damage. So other AoEs, you take a 50% cut on each single target. This one you don't get the cut at all, you're doing the max damage to all of them, which is nice. You have Dire Hit Plus to max out your crit. You have your Trying to Move over here that gives move gauge acceleration for your team, which is great, and then you have a +3 special attack, and then +1 accuracy here as well, and then you have Noble Roar, which lowers opponent's attack and special attack by 1 stat rank. The slight unfortunate thing about his kit is that you need 4 turns to buff, which is not ideal. Usually units you want 3 turns to buff, right? Because 2 dire hits, 2 trainer moves to max out your special attack and crit. So you'll have to find ways around it, right? You'll have to find ways around it because he wants to sync, because the sync does a lot of damage. If you have him at 3 out of 5 at least, or 2 out of 5 should be decent as well, because I think 2 out of 5 he does get, yeah, it does get pecking order. So yeah, with your sync move, power increases the more the opponent's stats have been lowered, right? So yeah, outside of that, you have Unova Flag Bearer, which gives 10% move power to your allies, and then 20% damage reduction to your allies as well. And then the more allied sync pairs that have the Unova theme on your team, the higher those percentages are, right? One more Unova character increases your attacks by 10% and decreases the damage you take by 3%. And then yeah, in mind games, every time you attack the opponent, you debuff their special defense, right? Just attack, blue flare attack, right? And as for your stats are pretty bad. I mean, I guess your defenses are okay for damage healer. Speed's not bad, but yeah, these stats are, the attack stats not that great. HP's okay, right? So yeah, let's talk about the synchron and stuff. So first of all, in terms of lucky skill, I do recommend going for a Crit Strike 2, right? If you can't get Crit Strike 2, go for Crit Strike 1, because that's the one that applies to sync moves, and obviously a lot of his damage does come from his sync at max. You could do like a 5-point-something million sync move, which is really powerful, right? So yeah, let's talk about his grid, I guess. So starting out at 1 out of 5. Again, I'm not gonna just pick up everything, just talking about like the important ones, just so you can save some sync orbs. So yeah, you want to pick up the blue flare stuff, I guess. Basically, right? I don't worry too much about accuracy, since you do have accuracy buff over here, but if you are worried about it, especially if you are fighting opponents that do have evasion buffs, then you might want to pick up the accuracy. But outside of that, you pick up just some of these special attack nodes, right? You can pick up the MP refresh, just, if you are running a really gauge heavy team and you need some like more move gauge acceleration, once you use these two just for the special attack buffs, you can pick that up. Don't really need Astral Remedy, honestly. You can pick up some speed as well, right? So these are basically the stuff you want. Again, actually really just depends, right? So at 2 out of 5, there are a few more options. First of all, you do have the pecking order down here, right? That does buff your sync move by 2 times, right? If you have the opponent at -6 attack, right? It doesn't have to be at -6, that's just the most, right? Just every time you buff the opponent's or debuff the opponent's attack under 0, obviously, that increases your sync move damage. And then after some other stuff, you have the blue flare move gauge refresh that you want. One note that I actually low-key kind of like, that I usually don't like on units, is Sharp Entry 1 over here. Because the thing with like Sharp Entry 1 is like, usually I don't like, because I mean, especially with a unit that you could already buff it, like, why pick it up? But the thing about N is, since you do spend 4 turns maxing out your stats, if you pick up Sharp Entry, you only need to use 1 dire hit, then you're good on 3 turns, right? So I do think 2 out of 5 N and Reshiram is a pretty big improvement from 1 out of 5, right? This guy is pretty expensive. 1 out of 5 Reshiram is not bad, but he's also not anything great either. He really gets better with each copy. Right, even up to 3 out of 5. 3 out of 5, you unlock Devastation over here, right? You get Pep Rally on Blue Flare, a lot of great things at 3 out of 5 as well. So yeah, outside of that, you could pick up Hostile Environment if you want, if you care about the burn thing. I personally don't care about it that much. But yeah, you could pick that up, and then you could pick up another, you know, Blue Flare power up, right? If you don't need that, more Blue Flare power ups would be nice. Or if you are trying to use them to Noble Roar as well, you could pick up Noble Roar, Move Gauge Refresh, right? It just really depends on what you want to do over here. Moving on, I guess, to 3 out of 5. There's a few options that you could go for. It depends on if you're syncing with him or not, which again, most time I would suggest syncing with him, because I mean his sync is very powerful, right? But yeah, as usual, I'd probably just go off for this sharp entry, right? Unless you want to run another support that could buff his you know, crit and stuff, right? If you have something like that, then sure, you don't have to go for that. As for some other stuff, if you're super effective, you could pick up super duper effective, I guess. But you know, if you're not, then you don't have to, obviously. You could pick up PR. I'm not a huge fan of Blue Flare Pep Rally, just because it builds up pretty slow. But again, it's Pep Rally. You get free speed for your team, which is always nice. But if you don't pick that up, you actually do have you know, some more flexibility over here. If you could actually go for like a full sync nuke build over here by picking up both pecking order and whatever the other thing's called, right? Devastation, right? So those are both options that you could go for. Yeah, I do prefer this to, like, you know, just going here and more like Blue Flare stuff or whatever, right? I really do prefer this this sharp entry, which again I almost never do, but in this case scenario, I do think it's pretty helpful, right? So yeah, you could do something like this, pick some more Blue Flare power-ups if you want, but outside of that, let's see, what are some other options? Oh, if you don't want to sync with him, just want to go like full you know, just side DPS with this guy, if you're just using him as like a side little thing, you can pick up the MP Refresh here for more more move gauge acceleration if you ever need that. You could, you know, just more the Blue Flare stuff, PR would be nice, Hostile Environment if you need that, right? So there's a lot of different ways that you could build them. One thing that I'm also not a fan of is up here, the Noble Roar stuff, because like some people suggested like, oh yeah, you go up here, pick up Noble Roar, and then you come down here, pick up, you know, Devastation, and like, oh no, you don't have enough energy to pick up pecking order. That's why I don't like it, right? Like, this is very, very, very. I don't know why people like just runs like something else. Okay, maybe like not the move gauge refresh, and then you'll have enough. But like, just run something else to debuff. Like, there's Getsus is free, plus it's his dad, right? Getsus is free. Run Getsus in there, double drop. It's just much better than that. I honestly don't even want, like, he has Noble Roar. Honestly, I do not care about Noble Roar on this guy, right? I don't care about Noble Roar on this guy at all. I do not care, right? So yeah, those are some ways that I guess you could build it. Oh, another way, I guess, is you could also do this if you're like fighting a Fire Week. You could you go here, pick up Devastation, Adrenaline, down here. What's the there it is, Star Hit, Move Gauge Refresh, and then do this, which probably will yield you the highest amounts of damage you can on your sync on a super effective, right? Because you come in, you have this super effective thing. You might have to delay your sync for one turn, but I mean that's an actual 50% on, or 1.5 times multiplier on your sync, right? So it's an option, I guess. But yeah, it all depends on how you construct your team, right? So anyways, speaking of, let's talk about these team construction options, right? So this is probably my favorite, I guess. It's probably my favorite. Guess his natural bulk isn't that bad, right? He has some really decent natural, you know, bulk stats. Obviously we get him for free, 2020, right? 200 something defense, 700 something, almost 800 HP. That's very, very, very good. The only downside is he doesn't have any defense buffs or heals necessarily, right? But what he does have is Noble Roar that could debuff the opponent's attack, special attack, so it does make up for that a bit, right? I guess, right? You could also have like Endurance over here if you want, Power Reserve for deal a bit more damage with that. But yeah, there are you know, a lot of other options as well. But yeah, mainly you want to pick up double drop, so that what you could do over here is over here with sharp entry, you dire hit plus double trainer move, and then this guy just 3 noble roars. This guy just buffs 3 turns, and then boom, you get your full powered sync nuke onto the opponent, and it will very much hurt them a lot, right? So that's very nice. And as for some other options, obviously, you know, if you don't have Maxi, you could just do Blaine over here. I mean, you're missing out on like 1,000,000 damage, but whatever. I mean, it is Groudon 2 Master Fairs, right? Oh, also the other thing is Groudon and that slot could also help gets his tank physical moves a bit better with the damage reduction from his Master Passive as well. So on top of like his, you get like that ones as well. So it's really nice in that sense. But yeah, you could also do Blaine here. If you are running something that doesn't really you know, require N to sync, if you want to do something like Leon and N double Master Passive over here, and then you can run like a Lyra here that could sync, can, you know, tank, because these two with 2 Master Passive with the damage reduction, because they both have damage reduction on their Master Passive, right? Both start out at 20%, so that actually helps Lyra tank a bit better as well, right? Again, you just don't sync, but like, it's these 2 DPS, which should be pretty good, right? Overall, Lyra gives the team speed, etc. Leon, you get the free move every once in, you know, now and then, right? So this could also be nice. As for some other options, I guess, if you're, you know, if you're free to play, obviously you don't have any of those, but like, you still have other stuff that you could do. Again, Blaine, because you want Sun. And as for the other option, I guess you could just do, oh wait, we talked about free to play. Gets is a free to play, never mind. So yeah, like completely free to play options are honestly pretty top tier teams for him as well, right? So yeah, I guess you could also run like Silver with him if you want, all that other stuff. But yeah, you definitely got a lot of options with this guy. If you want to run any Unovan characters, if you want to play around with his Unovan Master Pass, you can run like Sinks at Lisa over there as well, right? As a Unovan support, all that stuff. So anyways, that's really this one, I guess. Hope you all enjoyed. When you guys think in the comments down below, like, share this for our channel for some more Pokemon Master content. I'll see you guys in the next one.